is Veronica Whitley. I'm a Homeworks by Precept consultant and homeschool mom here in Texas. Today, let's take a look inside of 7th grade World Studies. World Studies is the 7th grade Heritage Studies course and is intentionally designed to follow 6th grade's ancient civilizations. The timeline of World Studies picks up where ancient civilizations left off and builds on that foundational knowledge of the ancient world to help them develop a biblical grid for understanding the people, places, and events of our modern world. Let's take a look inside. Let's start by taking a look at the Teacher's Edition. There is one volume to the Teacher's Edition for World Studies. This book will provide the lesson plans, resources, teaching strategies, and activities to help you teach this course. Here we have the table of contents. It starts with some introductory material, and then each of the chapters, their number and title are listed, along with the page numbers down the side. Underneath each chapter, you see the section numbers and titles, along with those page numbers. And then we have some information that can be found at the end of both the Teacher's Edition and your student textbook. The To the Teacher page offers some helpful information for you as a homeschool parent and teacher. The section highlighting what's new in this edition can be very helpful, especially if you've used a previous edition of World Studies. This course offers links to different websites or videos to help enhance the lessons. You can access those in the Course Resources section of your parent account on the Homeschool Hub. Next, we have the Worldview Shaping page. The lessons in World Studies will cover 5 worldview shaping themes: justice, power, citizenship, religion, and environment. Justice will look at how God has revealed right and wrong to all people and expects them to live accordingly. Power looks at why humanity was given power and how it's often abused. Citizenship will look at our God-assigned rights and responsibilities towards others within our communities. Religion will look at false religions and ask the questions: how should government and religion interact? And what kind of worship pleases God? The environment theme will look at biblical solutions for limited resources and how we can also benefit from these resources while showing concern for the environment that God has given us. Your child will start out by recalling and explaining these themes, but as these themes are repeated throughout the different chapters, your child will move on to evaluating these different ideas and formulating their response to each topic. The end goal is for them to be able to apply each of these themes to real-life situations. You can learn more about the biblical worldview shaping themes in World Studies by scanning this QR code. The Building Academic Rigor page will walk you through the desired learning outcomes, teaching and learning supports, and evidence of understanding. The desired learning outcomes asks, what do I want my student to learn? In this course, your child will be learning about the challenges and successes of world history and its changing values, leaders, governments, and religions. They'll continue to improve their reading and writing skills as they interact with primary source material. They'll also interact with maps, videos, websites, and statistical data. And lastly, they'll develop a biblical worldview regarding culture and its relationship to justice, power, citizenship, the environment, and religion. Teaching and Learning Supports answers the question of how to help your child learn by suggesting different teaching strategies and resources like games and infographics, discussion prompts, technology and websites, and worldview application. Evidence of Understanding evaluates what your child is learning. You can assess and evaluate your child's learning in a variety of ways, including activities, critical thinking questions, research projects and presentations, writing assignments, as well as quizzes and tests. Educational technology can be a great resource for homeschool parents. After School Help and the Homeschool Hub are 2 tools designed especially to support homeschool parents as they teach these lessons. The Homeschool Hub is a free resource that's available to you whether you are using video courses or have opted to teach this course for yourself. It offers lesson plans, scheduling, and grading tools, as well as instructional aids and links that will support the lesson content. Anytime that you see a link, a video, or a digital resource suggested, as a homeschool parent, you can find those resources in your parent account on the Homeschool Hub. You'll want to review the stages and strategies of the teaching cycle: engage, instruct, apply, and assess. You will see these repeated throughout each of the lessons. Each chapter will begin with a lesson plan overview. You'll see the chapter number and title, along with the page numbers in your teacher's edition, lesson objectives, resources, and assessments. Chapter 1 will prepare your child for what they will be learning in this course. They will look at the importance of studying history, and they will be introduced to the 5 biblical worldview themes of justice, power, citizenship, the environment, and religion. Throughout each of the sections, you'll see lesson objectives, activities, resources, and materials. Each of the chapters will follow very much the same format. You'll also see the stages of the teaching cycle repeated throughout the different lessons. Chapter 1 of World Studies will set the stage for what is to come by looking back on the foundation of what was learned in 6th grade ancient civilizations. To help in studying and reviewing each of these areas, there is a link provided in the Course Resources section of your parent account on the Homeschool Hub, reviewing the different people, events, and cultures of these areas of the world. The timeline of Chapter 1 ends where ancient civilizations left off. Reviewing the foundation that was laid in 6th grade is a great introduction to this course. While all of the chapters follow essentially the same format, Chapter 1 is a little bit unique in this course. So let's take a look at a sample chapter. Here we have the lesson plan overview, and you'll see the chapter number and title across the top. And then we have the section titles and numbers for this chapter. The parentheses under the section titles will show you how many days will be needed to cover the content in each of these sections. In the first column, we have the page numbers, both in the teacher's edition and in your child's student textbook. Next, we have the lesson objectives for each section. You'll also see a little blue box indicating a biblical worldview shaping theme that will be covered in these lessons. These lesson objectives will also be repeated in each section within your teaching notes. Next, we have a column of resources. These will include assignments from your child's activities manual. You'll also see links and digital resources under the heading Teacher Tools Online. As a homeschool parent, these resources will be available to you in your parent account under Course Resources on the Homeschool Hub. The last column is the assessments. These can be found in your child's student text in the form of reading check questions or critical thinking questions, or section quizzes or chapter tests that can be found in the assessments packet. In your teacher's edition, you will have a smaller version of your child's student text pages. Each chapter opens with a chapter overview. You'll see the chapter objectives listed, which correspond to the essential questions in your child's student textbook. Next, you'll see a section of resources that you may want to utilize throughout this chapter. However, when it comes to websites or video links, you may want to preview those before showing them to your child. Each chapter opens with a story that's designed to engage your child's interest in the upcoming lesson and culture that will be studied. Each section will open with the lesson objectives from the lesson plan overview. You'll see the biblical worldview themes highlighted within the lesson objectives, as well as the different biblical worldview shaping themes specifically addressed in this section. Here you have the activities that you'll assign from your child's activities manual, and then here you have a list of resources that can be found in the Homeschool Hub, videos and links that you can add or include to help enrich or supplement the lesson. And then lastly, under materials, these will be items that you may need to collect or prepare ahead of the lesson. Most lessons will start with the engage step of the teaching cycle. This is designed to help your child utilize previous knowledge and get excited about what they're going to be learning. The instruct step of the teaching cycle will be where the bulk of your lesson material will come from. Throughout the different chapters, you may see a gray background box. This will offer extra information to help you as the teacher understand the events of the time. You can choose to share this information with your child or just use it to help you as you teach. The yellow question mark icon indicates a reading check question. This is from the assessments column of the lesson plan overview and is just a way to help you gauge your child's understanding as you move through the lessons. The answers to the reading check question are over here in the margin. The Life In feature will contain photographs or illustrations designed to help your child see the people, events, and places that they're studying. Throughout the different lessons and chapters, you'll occasionally see a biography feature. The biography feature is designed to provide additional details about significant people in the history of this area of the world. The biography sections will also provide assignments, activities, or video links to help your child learn more about these significant people in history. While each chapter begins with the essential questions that will help your child identify important themes throughout the entire chapter, each section will begin with guiding questions. These guiding questions correspond to the lesson objectives and will help your child preview the themes and important concepts that will be covered in these lessons. These are different from the reading check questions. The Turning Points feature will address different events that changed the course of history. Often you'll see a link or a video recommended in the margin notes to provide additional information about these events. The answers to the questions at the bottom can be found here in your margins. The Worldview Dilemma box will help to highlight the different worldview themes addressed in this section or series of lessons and help your child to think critically about each one. In addition to regional artwork, photographs, and illustrations, your child will also have the opportunity to interact with maps, graphics, charts, and visual organizers to help them comprehend and organize what they're learning. Throughout the text of your child's reading assignments in the student textbook, you'll see words in bold print. Often these will be people, places, or terms that will be important for your child to know. These terms can be looked up in the glossary at the end of your child's student edition. At the end of each section, you'll see a red question mark icon indicating a critical thinking question. This is part of the assess stage of the teaching cycle. These questions will help your child to apply critical thinking skills as they formulate conclusions and make connections from the content. At the end of each chapter is a chapter review. The making connections questions will be very similar to the guiding questions found at the beginning of each section. The What to Know box will include people, places, and terms that your child will need to know for the upcoming chapter test. Most of these terms can be found in bold print within your child's textbook reading. The answers to the chapter review questions can be found here in the margins of your teacher's edition. Chapter 20 is the final chapter in World Studies. The timeline for World Studies ends in the 21st century. This chapter will look at the people, places, and events that have shaped our current world. And although Christians today face many challenges, this course ends on a note of hope by highlighting the many opportunities that Christians have in our modern world. After the last chapter of the Teacher's Edition, there's a section of atlases, a glossary with all of the important terms to know. The index from your child's student edition is also included, photo credits, and at the very end, a page on explaining the gospel. Next, let's look at the student textbook. Your child's student textbook will provide an overview of world history during the past 1,000 years, with each chapter focusing on the history of a different region of the world. It is assumed that your child will be reading the selections in their student textbook as part of their daily work in this course. Much like the teacher's edition, the student textbook starts out with the table of contents, listing the chapters and the section titles and the corresponding page numbers. The end of the student text contains an atlas, a glossary, and an index. Chapter 1 will help to prepare your child for this course. You have the biblical worldview themes laid out, as well as a timeline reviewing the cultures and areas that were studied in 6th grade. Each chapter in the student text will begin with the chapter number, the chapter title, the years that are being covered, and then the section titles in a mini table of contents, and then the essential questions or important themes that will be found throughout this chapter. The chapter opens with a story designed to help engage your child's interest in the upcoming lessons. You'll see the beginning of each section, section number and title, with the guiding questions listed on the side. These questions will be answered throughout the reading selections in each section. The Life In feature will include an illustration or photograph to help your child see what life was like in this time and place. You'll also notice the biblical worldview shaping themes included on these pages. The yellow question mark icon indicates a reading check question. This question can be answered verbally by your child, or you can ask them to write or type the answer. The biography feature will introduce your child to a significant figure in history. Throughout the reading assignments, your child will find bold print words indicating important terms, people, or places that they'll want to know. You'll see the turning points feature included as well, and the red question mark icon indicating a critical thinking question. Again, these can be answered through discussion or on paper. The student text is filled with maps, photographs, charts, and graphic organizers. At the end of each chapter is the chapter review. The making connections questions will connect with the guiding questions from the beginning of each section. This page will help your child to develop good study skills as they prepare for the upcoming chapter test. At the end of the student text is an atlas with a physical world map and a political world map. There's also a glossary where they can look up the bold print important terms from their reading. And finally, an index arranged alphabetically. Next, let's take a look at the activities manual. The assignments in the activities manual are designed to align with and enhance the lessons. The activities will help your child to recall what they have learned while also allowing them to interact with primary sources, case studies, art, online research, and timelines. Once again, we start with the table of contents. You'll see the chapter number and title, and then each activity listed underneath. Primary and secondary sources are important in the study of history. There will be several activities dedicated to primary source material in the activities manual. They will interact with different maps, locating different areas and regions, charts that will help them to compare different cultures and regions. Filling in timelines will help them to see the connections between different events. The activities will also include different artwork and identification. In addition to the chapter review in the student textbook, there's also a chapter review page included in the activities manual. The activities manual also has a corresponding answer key. The answers for the assignments in the activities manual are not found in the teacher's edition, but in the activities manual answer key. You'll see that the page numbers in the answer key correspond with the page numbers in your child's student activities manual. The format of the pages will be the same, with the answers filled in for you. The map exercise will have the corresponding letters filled in next to each place. Here we have the chart comparing the Portuguese Empire and the Spanish Empire, but with the answers filled in. Here we have the same artwork as before, with the styles and characteristics included. The chapter review also includes the answers and the page numbers where the answers can be found. In the course of grading, if you find an incorrect answer, giving your child the page number where the correct answer is located can help them as they study for the chapter test. This course will also come with an assessments packet. The assessments packet will contain all 20 chapter tests for this course, as well as all of the section quizzes. The tests and quizzes will also come with answer keys in this blue covered packet. But to protect the integrity of the tests, we're not going to take a look inside of these.